What is up? Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here. This is WIP Wednesday Live, where I customize or talk to friends about toys and nerd stuff live, as the title says. If you haven't already, please do me a favor and hit that like button. It really helps. If you aren't subscribed, that really helps also. And yeah, I'm not really good at starting these things off. I need to be more professional. I need to watch more of my fellow content creators and steal ideas. I hope you guys are all doing good, doing well. Sorry. Tonight's episode 29, and we are going to be working on this speedster here. So this is going to be an Age of Apocalypse Quicksilver. So last night I painted the skin tone, and I painted all of the white parts, the white components. So I got some hands, I got some boots, some glove cuffs, and tonight we're going to do all of the base body, like a midnight blue kind of thing. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to get this one done. This is going to be a quick one, which is nice. Speaking of nice, we got some lovely people in the chat already, which is fantastic. Jordan from Canada, aka Anonymous Dude, not so anonymous dude anymore. So sorry, Matthew, just not feeling my best tonight. Got to catch some Z's. Much love. All have a great show. Hashtag action figures, hashtag butter tarts. Jordan, I don't need to get your mailing address and send you some butter tarts. I make a pretty good butter tart. Thanks, man. Your presence will be missed, but rest up. Hopefully you're feeling better. Hopefully it's nothing too serious that a good night's sleep won't help you kick. So hope you're feeling better. Marcus Yee is here. Hello, sir. How are you? And I always love a new name. Ruler of Randomness says, hey, first time catching one of these live. Hope everyone is having a good day or night. Thank you, sir. If you're still kicking around, where are you from? You know, are you a fellow Canadian? Are you in North America? Somewhere else in the US or something? Or I always like to know who everyone is, if as much as they'll be, as much as they're open to telling me. So so a couple of things about when I do these live streams and I'm working with my airbrush. I have an airbrush booth, which is right there. It can be pretty loud. Maybe not that loud, but loud enough. And I also wear one of these. So I guess what I'm trying to say is when I'm airbrushing, it probably will not be that easy for me to chat because it's hard to chat through that mask. It doesn't really work that well. But yeah, as usual, I'll just kind of keep an eye on the comments and I'll come back and answer anything. So if you have any questions about the process, if you just want to chat and talk toys and talk whatever, yeah, drop it in the chat and we'll bring it up on the screen and we'll have a conversation about it. So I'm going to get started because there's no point in wasting any time here. So I'm going to pull up my my custom cam. I'm going to give it the solo. So to start tonight, I have to mask this neck because I'm painting the body. So what I'm going to do for the body is I'm going to do all. Let me just turn this light up a little bit more, get some bit more brightness out of it. There we go. Oh snap! 1-6 shooters here. Hey man, nice of you to join. Thank you for popping in. I haven't had a chance to chat much with you, Trevor, but I really like your work. I really love those Headless Horseman pictures you did. They are freaking beautiful. If anyone has no idea what I'm talking about, go check out 166 Shooter on Instagram or the Mythic Legions. They just did like I don't do Mythic Legions in fear of getting addicted. But they just did this headless horseman, and it's like the first time that I've been like on the fence, and it was like those pictures just sold me. Like they're just so fucking nice. So, oh, nice. Ruler Randomness says East Coast in the US. Well, thanks for staying up late and hanging out. So, okay, so game plan. So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to try something a little bit more different, a little different than I normally do. Oftentimes, to get a nice bright color, I'll do like a base coat of it, that color kind of in its darkest shade, and then I'll go over it with like a medium tone of the same color, and then I'll highlight with like a lighter version of that. But what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to try something a bit different, because I'm wanting to do this effect when I do my Generation X team next year. I'm going to do a black base coat, and then I'm going to do kind of like an overspray from above, doing like a midnight blue or like a navy blue, and then I'm going to go in and highlight the like individual like muscles using my airbrush and like a light blue. And the reason I want to do this is because I have used black as a base for blue before, but I'm also going to be priming a separate piece, like just a sample piece. And when I do that, I want to test how it looks with red, because my thought is I really want to mimic that style from the Generation X comics, the first Generation X books, where like the costumes look black that almost have like red glare off of them. So I want to see if that works with the red, and if it looks the way I envision it looking in my head. So I'm just trying to find my test piece. I have a figure that I always use to test on. He's kind of just like a piece of shit figure. Here he is. Poor guy. So yeah, you can see that I was trying to do it a bit before, but I went a little crazy with the spray. So I'm going to just try it again on the back here somewhere. So yeah, so when we do the black, I'm going to start by doing just a layer of black primer on all the parts that are going to be blue. Also, normally I take the figure apart like at this point as well on the thigh swivels. But I decided not to this time, because I want to make sure that where I am highlighting on the musculature on the upper, like on this part, it matches up here, and it's a lot harder to do that when they're not attached. So yeah, so that's my plan, and that's the same with why the arms are still attached to the shoulder as well at the bicep there, because I want to make sure that it's fluid and it looks like it makes sense. So, but yeah, we're going to start by just giving everything a coat of black primer. I'm not going to go crazy. I'm going to just keep it light, because I don't want the black to be, I mean, the black is going to be deep regardless, but it's black. But I'm not trying to get like this nice solid black. I just need a good base to start at that's kind of even right across the board. So yeah, that's the plan. And then if I have time, I'm also going to work on this. I'm pretty happy with this Quicksilver head. My only thing I don't like about it is I kind of put too much hair on the forehead, and now he kind of like doesn't have a forehead. Yeah, so that's my only issue with it. But once I did the hair sculpt, I was too happy with it to be like, because for anybody who has followed me for a while, like hair sculpts are generally not my strong point. Last year my focus was, or I shouldn't say last year, this year, 2022, my focus has been to get my faces a bit more realistic and good looking. Not so derpy looking, which I feel like I've done a pretty good job at this year. So next year, my focus is I'm going to try to start doing stuff that I stray away from a lot, which is hair. I really don't like hair. I'm not comfortable doing it. So I'm going to try to test myself and challenge myself. And yeah, so I'm starting with easier things. Short hair for me, guys' hair is always a lot easier for me. Female hair is extremely daunting and scary. So yeah, I'm just kind of starting small now as I get forward to, or move ahead into 2023 here. So, oh, that's awesome. 16 User said, thanks, man. Love your work too. And then he said, damn, you should have gotten one. I know. Oh yes, I've heard they're great to customize. I know. But my issue is you can see behind me, just don't have anywhere to put anything. Fucking is the worst. I wish I did. I wish I had more space. I'm not a big like mystic kind of thing. Like elves and shit aren't really my jam, but I almost buckled at the Cosmic Legions. They're pretty fucking good. They're very cool. Marcus says that's me with painting faces. Yeah, man, it's so difficult because it's just like one little placement, like one little spot out that's wrong on like the eye, and they look derpy, or they look like their one eye's looking a different way, and it fucking is annoying. So yeah, so I'm gonna throw some primer on this guy as well so I can test it. I really want to see if I can get a cool like red glow, because that's kind of the look I want to do my Generation XT when I do it. So I'm gonna kind of use this as a chance to kind of like just do some testing and see. I'm gonna start by loading up. Oh no, not yet. We have to mask first. So I'm going to mask the skin tone that I did yesterday, so that way when I hit it with the black, I don't do anything to it. I don't hurt it. To do masking in such an area where it's kind of like down into a crevice and, you know, not so easy to put like tape down there, I use Silly Putty. Works really well. It keeps a really tight seal, and it's easy to remove too. So yeah. All right, so I'm just going to start by getting down to that bottom there. And I have a couple tools I use to help me do this. Where are you? So I think most of you who have watched before have probably seen me use these. These are like silicone brushes, kind of. There's like a flat head one. There's like a pointer one. I use them for sculpting, but they're also good in this application as well. And the thing is I have to be mindful that I don't push this down too, like I still want to make sure I get the inside of this collar. I don't want to, you know, like I don't want it to, I mean, if I have to go in there with a paintbrush, I will, but it's not the easiest spot to reach, as you could probably imagine. But yeah, the thing is like when you get into a crevice that tight, you usually don't have a choice. You usually have to do a little bit of touch up. It's just, there has to be space for the Silly Putty to live, right? And it's just, it gets right down to the point where there's not really space. So there always ends up having to be a little bit of touch up, but the idea is that you minimize the amount. There we go. I do have a spot on the collar on the front that I didn't fill in all the way. I might just quickly fill that in. I used, for anybody who's watched before has seen me probably use that Bondic pen. It's like the UV resin pen. And that's what I used to seal up the neck, but I noticed the spot that I kind of didn't get well, didn't properly seal. Okay, I'm gonna go turn my fan on too. It's fucking hot in here. Every time I got the lights and all the cameras and the computers all running, it's like super hot in here. Small little office I have. What am I looking for? I'm looking for my small flathead. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Seriously. It's a pointer. Jeez. Struggling to find what I'm looking for here. Marcus E says, I tried painting eyes while using pupil decals and it was difficult. Yeah, I never tried the pupil decals. I'm surprised I didn't, because it seems like a shortcut that I would like to use, but I'm always worried for the exact same thing, is like it's got to be in the right spot. And yeah. 160 says, do you blow dry them in between coats or wait? I just wait. Yeah, I usually just wait. I don't I usually have enough stuff to do that I can, like, so what I'll do tonight is I'll spray everything. And generally speaking, when I do a coat of primer, I usually leave it on for longer. Like normally when I prime, I would prime one night and then I would start painting the next. I almost always leave, give it a good, maybe not full 24 hours, but I try to leave as much time to let it fully cure. But in the instance tonight, the the primer is more just being used to give me an even coat of black because the base figure is already black, and I decided to kind of the way I prepped this figure, I took a few shortcuts to make it a bit easier. So that way, you know, it's just a black base body. So if I do have any spots that rub a little bit, it's like, you know, not the end of the world, right? So yeah, so the only spots that are bad are where I did the skin tone, but all of those spots are not points of paint rub. So, you know, I'm not super worried, right? Around the neck and on the chest. So yeah, so it should be okay, I think. But yeah, tonight I will prime. I'll let it sit for like 15 minutes and I'll go, right? But I'll keep the coats of primer pretty light. So, okay, so I've got around the collar all done. Oh, let's just see what else is up. Quebec Diorama says, hello. Hey man, what's up? Thanks for stopping by. Oh, and Nike Boy's here. What up, sir? Nice to see you both. I'm waiting for Charlie to show up. Charles Zimmel. He said he had a few bangers he's been saving for me all week. Some funny jokes, that guy. Okay. All right, so I'm just gonna spread the rest of this out over the rest of the neck. And I have to be mindful that, again, I don't want to block any entrance into this collar at the bottom here. I really want to make sure as much of it can get painted as possible. There we go. And I don't really care if the peg gets a little bit on it, but I will cover it up just a little bit. Yeah, see, the back one here is going to be hard for me to get any paint there. I'm probably going to have to... There we go. Flatten that out too. Okay. All right, there we go. That didn't take long. And I'm going to start by doing the inside. I'm going to bend all of the joints first and get a good base on the insides of all these joints too. We'll start there. That, and we will push this torso back so we get a good... So what I try to do when I do a primer to get a good spread on, like a good coat, even coat, is I kind of, you know, I bend the knees so I get inside the knees. I push the ab crunch back so I get down here, up here, and then I set the butterflies backwards so the backside will get black. That, and then when I switch it to the other way, I'll do the insides. Okay, so unfortunately, I'll have to change the way these are connected, but that's okay. Cool. All right. And then same with these arms. I'm gonna bend them as far as I can, open them up, bend this as far as I can, open that up, get rid of the stick tack or silly putty rather. And I think I'm going to move all the stuff that I've already done out of the way here. Just, you know, especially white being what it is, I don't want to get any black on it and then do some damage, you know. So we'll do that. Got this. Got my glove. Oh, I was going to put a thing in the airbrush booth so you could see that. Let's do that. Give me 1 second. I need to set up a camera a little bit differently here. I need to just change one of my cameras to be on my other laptop so that way I can use it in tandem with my overhead camera. There we go. And while I'm there, I'm going to turn this fan on because it is hot as balls in this place. Whew. Okay. I got that. Now I got this. Oops. Sorry for the bumps. Oh, that's not going to work now, is it? Let's do that. There we go. Okay. Got to set up my little rig here so you guys can look into the paintbrush booth. The airbrush booth, rather. The figure booth. Okay, let's see if that works. So I will disconnect this camera and change it to airbrush camera, and then you guys can see both. Oh, well, that's a little bit much, but sorry guys, I should have done this before. All right, this will be good. All right, we'll do both now. There you go. This is my gross airbrush booth. Just for the record, this needs to be cleaned. I should have done it right when I did this one, but I'll do it after my next one. What's going on? 1-6 Shooter says, have you ever used dye? Yes, I have actually. Yeah, I have. I always kind of warn people about dye. So the nice thing about dye is you don't really, it eliminates this potential paint rub that you might have from not prepping your figures all the way. The bad part is if you paint over it, it will bleed through. So I always say if you're going to dye something and then paint over that, be mindful that there is a strong chance that the dye will bleed through your paint. Obviously, it depends on the colors, right? Like if you dye it blue and then paint black over it, you might just get a blue tint to your black. But like, for example, I made a Venom, a Mark Bagley style Venom, and I dyed it black, and then I highlighted it with blue, and I did the spider logo on the stomach or on the torso. And about 8 months after, I noticed that my white was all turning like cloudy gray, and now it's at the point where like it's pretty. There's still some nice spots, but there's also some not nice spots. So yeah, I do like that. I think it works in certain things. So like places where it's good is like, so for example, I'm working on a warbird, I think her name is. So I have like a character that basically has like tails from coming out of like her jacket, and I want them to be posable. So what I'll do is I'll roll out Procreate really thin. That's the like flexible kind of sculpting material once it cures, and then I'll run the wire in it and then kind of seal it up using Procreate again. And then instead of painting it, because if you paint it and you bend it, the paint will flake off over time. Instead of doing that, I'll just dye it the color I need to dye it black. And then that way I'll never have to worry about the colors like chipping off or anything like that. So it's good to use it when you know the potential risk. If you know the potential risk and you can work around it, it's a good thing. So yeah, I do like it. I do think it's a useful tool to have in the toolbox for sure. Nike Boy says, glad I was able to join the live. Work was running late and they made sure they knew I had to leave. Can't miss WIP Wednesday. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. You guys are all awesome. Fucking love all you guys, man. It's so nice to come on here and just chat with you guys. Looks like the inside of an oven. Yeah. Looks gross, dude. I'm not a fan. Oh, nice. 1-6 Shooter says, I dyed a full Legion's horse black. Worked well. Took forever to really dry, though. Yeah. To dye, though. Oh, I see what he says. I died. Yeah, it works great. And like the thing is like, if you're doing it and you do just some subtle dry brushing to it, like, so say you dye the horse black and then like just with like a little dry brush with like a, like a dark gray or like a medium gray and just a really nice mild dry brush to bring out some of the details in the sculpt. It'll still fade over time, but it probably won't be that noticeable because it'll be dry brushed on. So it may ultimately even give it a kind of cooler look. So Marcus says it's kind of weird whenever it bleeds through like that. Yeah. It's annoying for sure. And then Marcus asks, do you ever use clear primer? I used to. I don't anymore. Because I was finding it was the one I was using one from a thing called Army Painter. The one I was using kept drying foggy on me, and it actually ruined a piece that I was working on. And so I kind of stopped. So I mostly use these. This is my primary set of primers that I use. I use Badger primers through an airbrush. It's like a 3-pack. It's got your black, your gray, your white. So the idea is that there's a name for it. It starts with a Z, but it's spelled with an X, I think. There's like I can't remember what it's called, but anyways, it's basically like you prime the whole thing in black, and then you do like an overhead spray with the gray, and then you do a highlighting spray with the white, and then you would apply a thinned out color that you want onto that base, and it'll do all the highlighting for you. You don't actually have to do any of the highlighting. So I haven't done it myself personally, but I shouldn't say I think I did it once or twice, but I prefer my colors to be more vibrant and be more selective of where my highlighting goes. So yeah. Oh, Super Cal L. I follow you on IG. Is your name the same on there? Thank you for being here. Thanks for stopping by. This is dope. Marcus E says, oh, okay, I was considering using it because I wanted to do a transition between the base plastic and another color. Give it a try. I had lots of successful runs with it. I just got frustrated with my last batch because it wasn't working for me. So, okay, so I'm going to set this up. This is my airbrush, my little holder. I'm going to put some black in here. Move this back to the side. Okay, guys. So yeah, I'm gonna go muffled here in a minute because I'm gonna put this sweet mask on. Better safe than sorry, folks. Okay. I don't know if you can still hear me, but that's me in the mask. So I'll now turn this on. Put my glove on here. So I'm gonna start with that test piece. All right, here we go. Yes, there's my test piece. I'll just leave that aside for now. I'm going to do the arms. Alright, refill that. Those. And again, I'm not trying to put a lot on here. I'm just trying to get it one even color. I don't know if you can hear me. That's great. All right, next one. Oops, a little heavy. So to show you guys where I try to keep it, oh, this is a better light. Let's see here. I don't know if you can see well enough or not, but this right here is too heavy. When it looks wet, it's too heavily applied. This is more what you want. It's smooth, it's evenly applied, it's already dry. If you have to wait long amounts of time for it to dry, if you have too much paint on it. With an airbrush, you keep it nice and light and do multiple coats. It'll give you a much smoother finish. All right, back to the mask. Change this up again. All right, set up a knee. Oh, too heavy. Too heavy. All right, there we go. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and give it all another coat, and we're going to let it sit for a few minutes and work on the Quicksilver head. And then we will come back and bend the joints and do the other sides of all of them. All right. That was done. There we go. And that's more. Let's do this. Gotta add a little bit more. Still need a little more. There we go. Good stuff. Let's take this off. Marcus Yee says, I will leave that on for a minute while I clean. Marcus Yee says, have you seen the newish V Toys blank body? No, I don't think I have. So look that up. What's different about it? Is it just a new build, or is it the same size and just different? I gotta say, my experience working with the V Toys body was okay. I don't know if I would do it again. There's things about it I don't like. It has really long shins. I also don't love that style of ankle joint. I much prefer like a Marvel Legends style ankle rocker. So it's one of my biggest pet peeves with the WWE figures from Mattel. I hate their ankle rockers. The worst. So right now I'm just cleaning my airbrush out. I just spray it with a little spritz of water, and then I'm going to run some cleaner through it because I can tell it's... The only problem with this primer is sometimes it can gunk up a little bit, so I'm going to run So yeah, so what this thing basically does is it just collects all my spray from here of my cleaner, so I'm not just spraying it into the air. It has a little filter on the top here, which probably needs to be changed if I'm being honest. I'll have to look it up. Super Cal Hal says, if you don't mind me asking, what got you to start on YouTube? It's funny because I was like, I think it was just like wanting to potentially be able to monetize down the road, maybe, or I don't know. I honestly don't know why I started a YouTube channel. I don't have the time for it, that's for sure. I do like doing my weeklies. I think maybe because I like to be able to do like this style of format. Like I can't really do like 2 cameras on Instagram and like bring up pictures and have a background and music going. Like there's a lot of that stuff I can't do. So I think that's probably the biggest reason why. But I know that there was a point where I was kind of thinking like maybe I could, you know, quit my job and just do this kind of stuff for a living. But then I was like, once I did like math, so basically like 2 days later, I was like, yeah, that's never gonna work. It's not gonna ever work, especially because like I make pretty decent money, so it's like, you know, it's hard to walk away from what I got. My gig is just way too good, so they got me, you know, they know I'm never going anywhere because they pay me well and give me a car and all this shit. So Marcus E said, I think it's slightly different body type, but it's in a dark skin tone. I like it. It's literally what I wish we had more of. I consider getting it for Mezco style cyborg or something. That's interesting. I'll have to look it up and see what they have. I do like that base. I just wish it moved smoother. Like mine was super, super tight. Like it was tight. Like it I had to really put my hands on the figure to like articulate it. And that was something I didn't love, so okay. Yeah, Super Cal says that's understandable. Yeah. But I think I more just like it because I like this, you know, I know I have a bigger audience on, I mean, it's not even comparable, right? Like I have like 30,000 on Instagram. I have 200, 300 on here. So, you know, it's pretty different, but that's okay. I don't really care. It's fun. And to be honest, like I've built like, you know, the people who come back week after week, Marcus E's and Quebec Diorama and Jordan from Canada and Nike Boy and Charlie when he shows up. Oh, my computer's not plugged in. I should probably make sure that's plugged in, eh? I don't want this thing to die on me. Let's do this. Plug you in. There we go. Yeah, I like, you know, I actually look forward to that part. I look forward to getting to chat with you guys. So it's good. It's a good feeling. And even if it's just like, you know, 6 or 7 of us, I'm like, this is pretty fun. If there's just people here interacting with me, I'm happy with it. So I'm gonna put my cool nerd glasses on. We're gonna do some work on this head. So this is my Quicksilver head. I'm pretty happy with the base coat, the base color of the skin. Turned out pretty good. And then you brush. And if you guys recall from the last time we did this, I always start my eyes with a black wash. I do it instead of paint because it fills in the shape of the eye easier. And I really only need the outline. I don't need the inside. So yeah, so I usually, instead of doing paint in the eye, I just do a wash and just do that and get some of the extra off. And I just touch it to the eye and it kind of fills in for me, which is nice. Sometimes you get it a little heavy like I just did, but usually easy enough to soften that out. Ooh. Oh, I kind of just undid it. I dropped a water drop in the eye. Let's try this again. Other side first. All right. All right. Good stuff. And I'm just trying to soften the edges where I put it on, just so it's not so dark. I want it to kind of have some realism to it. But in doing that, I end up taking off some of the lines I do want. So let's try this one again and see. There we go. That's good. The little tail that I fucked up there. Good. That's good. Good, good, good. Okay. There we go. And softening around the edges. Cool. So that's what we got. I don't know if you can see or not, but oh yeah, it looks like you can. So yeah, I don't worry too much if there's little bits of mess around the edges, because what ultimately ends up happening is I then outline the eye to do some shading around it at the very end once the eye's finished. I usually do a line at the top and a slight line underneath. So we'll leave that for a few minutes. We will move on to the lips. So for lips, I usually use like a color like this. I know it seems like pretty heavy. Might do something a bit lighter because the skin's a little, I didn't go quite as dark as I usually do. Do that. Do that instead. So what is happening with everybody? Without getting into any real spoilery stuff, did anybody see the She-Hulk finale, and what did you think of it? I usually do a podcast on Saturday nights with my buddy Ryan over at Moose Milk Media, and we missed last week because he was super sick. So hopefully he's feeling better for this weekend, so we can take care of it this weekend. Talk about the finale. I personally, without getting too into it, I loved the show. I'm not one of the haters. I quite enjoyed the show. I liked the humor in it. I thought it was really funny. I didn't love the ending. It didn't not to be a hater, but it didn't land for me. It was a bit too meta, I think, for me. I didn't really feel like it was a satisfying ending. Like I felt like I didn't know like what felt like it was like legit ending and what wasn't. There we go. Lips are good. I will go into like the crack of the lip where the two lips meet and hit it with a little wash to just give a bit more of a defined line. But yeah, pretty easy. He's got big pouty lip on the bottom, so pretty easy to outline. And I'm gonna do one more outline in this. Marcus Yee said, I had no idea what to do for lips last time, still don't. Yeah, I try to do something that looks like, I mean, I guess I don't really know how to, like, I go dark shade. You know, you could probably go a little bit lighter if you want. Like, the thing is, you can always start lighter and just work your way darker until you get to a point where you're happy with it. But Again, that's another thing, is if you're looking for, if something's looking off on the faces, check the lips too. Lips are another one of those things where if it's slightly off, it really makes a noticeable difference in what the finished product looks like. So yeah, be mindful. There we go. Bummer. I have to work all weekend this weekend. Ugh. I usually don't work weekends, but I have to this week. Right. Once this dries, I'm going to try to tidy up the line under the eyes. I just want to make sure I keep that eye shape. As soon as I start losing that eye shape, I start fucking up. So, as I mentioned earlier, eyes are still one of those things that I have to really work towards getting something that looks good, that I'm happy with. We're going to change these now. So I'm going to move this down to the other position. I'm going to turn this so I get the inside that I missed. And I'm going to straighten these arms. There we go. And do that for these as well. That goes down. This goes around. And arms go straight. So the arms get all mucky because I fill in all my peg holes. So move that up, and then I'll get the backs, which is good. I will move this forward, and I will move these butterflies out. There we go. And I do have to get under here as well. So maybe I'll just start with a quick spray there. Like he's working. Marcus, he says, She-Hulk's finale was all right. Not bad, not great either. At least it was different, but frankly, that wasn't enough. I enjoyed the show for the most part. Yeah, that's fair. I would say that's probably how I feel too. It was, I liked that it was different, but it just didn't, the whole thing didn't really land for me. Maybe just a couple steps too far, I think. But there were, even though things didn't work for me, there were still elements of it that I enjoyed. So, yeah, it was good. Super Kal-El says, did you get the new Hawkeye? I have actually gotten 3 of them because they are really, really great custom fodder. So, yes, I have one in my display. And then I don't know if I alluded to this a few weeks ago, but I actually am putting together a base body for a customs by Matchu. I'm trying to make a figure of myself, and I used the jeans from Hawkeye because they got like kind of more skinny jeans, kind of, or tighter jeans. So yeah, so I took the legs off that, and then I'm going to fill in. I'm going to eliminate this double torso, the ab crunch part, and just keep the diaphragm because I kind of wanted to make it like fatter because I'm not skinny. And then yeah, so then I'll fill in all the musculature on the arms to soften that so they don't look like I'm all muscly. And then this head is just a placeholder. I have to find something that actually looks like me. I don't know. Go back to Arama. I'm not going to highlight that only because it's kind of a spoiler, but I will say that I wish they wouldn't have done that. I wish they wouldn't have done that at all. I feel like it was so overshadowed by everything else that was happening and could have been saved. The thing is when the time comes that that's relevant information, they're going to have to explain it again anyway, so I don't know why they did it here. I just thought it was really stupid of them. It was like, hey, here's this, and it's like, yeah, that's great. Let's get back to the rest of the story. It's like, oh, okay. Stuff like that. I don't love that. I don't know what this is. It's like a little flap of plastic. I don't know. There we go. Okay. So yes, Super Kal-El. I got lots of Hawkeyes. I have that, and then I kit bashed another one for my Tom DeLonge figure. I'm working on more members of Link, so I might be able to remove your comment if you want. No, I can't. I can put you in timeout though. How would you like that? Nike Boy said, I saw Halloween Ends last Friday. Man, what the fuck they do? Yeah, I've never been a Michael Myers fan. I've never been a Halloween fan. but I am hearing all kinds of negative about it. So that's a damn shame. That's too bad, especially because weren't the last ones like good? I think I saw Halloween. I think I saw the first movie in this current run. Pretty sure I did. All right, got some more black paint in here. Let's get this glove back on. This glove's only probably got another time. I use these things until they're like garbage, until they can't fit me anymore. I mix my epoxy sculpt, and then when they're cruddy from that, I just use them for painting. Marcus Yee. I loved how throughout the show Jennifer dealt with her issues. Jen vs. She-Hulk, what makes her happy? It reminds me of episode 4 or 5 of Moon Knight, the Institute Afterlife. Yeah, good call. Yeah, I quite liked it too. I just like that it wasn't so... I like that it wasn't always like, here, let's fight, let's do this. Like, I like that it was kind of like we were dealing with Jen's issues more than She-Hulk's kind of thing, right? I liked it. Ultimately, to me, like, the comedy just landed, right? Everything from Madison to Wong and Emil, like, they're just, everybody was just awesome. So Nike Boy says I didn't hate it, but it's not the best in his new trilogy. Yeah, I've definitely heard mixed to bad feelings about it. The next Death Battle matchup is going to be Jason Voorhees and Michael Myers. That would be pretty cool. I'd probably watch that. I'd be down for that. Okay, I'm going to put my mask back on, and then I'm going to paint, get another coat of primer on this baby. Then we're going to fix those eyes. And for the record, I would buy a Madison Marvel Legends in a heartbeat, as long as she comes with a martini glass. Let's go. Oh, let's do this. Damn. I'm just gonna do this first. Oh, sorry, didn't realize you can't see. Excellent. Do this one. All right. See? Too heavy. Too heavy. But sometimes it's not good. Sometimes I go heavy into those little cracks because I need to make sure that all of it gets right into the inside of the joint. so that way I get good coverage. So sometimes it's excusable. Sometimes. Nike Boy says Jason would whip Michael's ass, especially after this new movie. Jason just strikes me as one of those guys that you can't stop. Like he just keeps on coming. Okay, take a little break from that. I'm gonna just clean off the needle tip there. Put a little cover on my... Oh, is that pretty much done? Oh, that's done. I'm just going to clean it. Oh, it is done. Okay. Let's just clean that then. Oh, shit. Sorry. I knocked my camera off. Let's do this. Sit, stay. There we go. Do I know about Deadpool being Canadian? Yes, I do know that Deadpool is Canadian. Well, Ryan Reynolds is Canadian. Is Deadpool Canadian? Maybe I didn't know that. Maybe I did know that he is. Is Deadpool Canadian? Yeah, born in Canada, but grew up to become the least Canadian person ever. That's what Google says when I Google it. That's funny. All right, clean this up real quick, and then we'll do some more painting on that Quicksilver head. What do you guys think of this week's thumbnail? For anybody who didn't watch last week, I had Matchu Toy on, and we kind of started talking about toy photography, and I was telling him how I've recently been really enjoying my time with the toy photography. Even though I'm not really good at it, I find it super fun. There's some floaties in there. Let's not run that through there. Let's get those out of there. Every once in a while, I'll put a little bit of rubbing alcohol down. It's stronger than airbrush cleaner. It also doesn't bubble when you do this, so it kind of helps clean out any gunk around the needle. All right, we'll leave that alone for a minute. Let's come back over to this side. Oh shit, knock that over again too. Nike Boy says Zombie Jason is a beast, literally unkillable. If it was Rob Zombie Myers, then Michael wins. Interesting. Marcus says, part of me likes to believe that Michael Myers is just a Florida man. No wonder why it's so hard to kill him. That's great. Except the latest movie, but I haven't seen it. That's funny. So this week I unfortunately was dealt a little blow to my time. For anybody who knows, I partake in the legendary Secret Santa, formerly the Foosh Secret Santa. It's a customizing figure swap where you get a list for somebody else's and you make them a figure and then you get one in return. So I picked a figure off my list and I've been working on it for the last month, 5 weeks probably. And I had to stop working on it. I was super unhappy with how it looked. I could not get... I was trying to just get a base body to start working on. I can't say what it is yet. I will share it once the final figure's revealed. I just don't want the person whose list I have. I obviously know whose list I have. Most participants wouldn't know the list they have, but because I'm organizing it, I know. So yeah, so I don't want to post obviously because then that would give away who, like, that person who has that list. They would be like, oh, I see he was working on that and he's not anymore. So yeah, so I had to basically start over, and I only have till November 15th to finish, which is, yeah, kind of a bummer. I kind of had to make my selection of what I was going to work on based on what I had on hand for fodder. Like, I couldn't order something. There's a couple of things I wanted to do that I don't have the pieces for, and I don't have the time to wait, unfortunately, because it takes me a month at the minimum usually to make a figure. So I just don't have the time to wait for parts, you know? That being said, though, my second choice is one I would have had to wait for parts. So, but my third choice was one who I had most of the parts I needed, and anything I don't have, I can work around. So yeah, so I ended up switching gears, which, yeah, it was kind of a bummer because I had spent the last month, 5 weeks, kind of like trying to get this base body to. Basically, I basically rebuilt a brand new base body from scratch. I mixed Mafex parts and Marvel Legends parts. It was pretty cool. I made these really cool elbows, or these really cool shoulders, that were Marvel Legends style, like hinges, but then they pivoted at where they connected to the torso. So like they had Mafex style where it would attach to the torso. So like they were ball joints. So the ball joint moved, and then the disc on the ball joint, like would work like a normal Marvel Legends too. So kind of had like this like double, it pretty much had like the craziest range of motion in its shoulders. And I was super bummed to have to let it go, but man, I just could not get it to work. I couldn't get it. So I ultimately had to do what I had to do. I was pretty disappointed though, I won't lie. And I don't love having to start over, but you know how it goes. I'm trying to find a medium gray. Here we go. This is a medium gray. I'm gonna just do hit the eyebrows. Marcus E says, just love how there's an action figure that's face down, ass up on your desk. Yeah, really. 77 says, I saved 10% of my car insurance with Geico. That's sweet, dude. Lucky you. I'm one of those lucky guys. I don't have to pay for my car insurance. Very lucky. My company vehicle, I don't pay for anything with my car. I don't pay for gas. I don't pay for cleanings. I don't pay for maintenance. I don't pay for insurance. It's an awesome perk, especially right now with gas being so expensive and all that. Hey, Marcus, let's talk. I'll send you pictures of. I can show you. I just can't show publicly what I did because I don't want to ruin I don't want to out what I was making yet. But if you message me, I'll send you the pictures. I took pictures of what I did, and I'll explain it to you. It is a little bit challenging, but I can show you if you want. So 77 says, who do you work for? I work for a company called Georgia Main Food Group. We own 2 banners of grocery stores here in British Columbia, Canada. So yeah, I oversee the bakery department in 30 stores. I'm the head honcho. I'm the big croissant. All right, let's do some brows. I hate doing brows too. Ooh, can't say I love those. Maybe if I just make them less pointy, they'll be better. Kind of looks like Namor a little bit. I mean, when I originally bought this, so I was saying to Morning Wolf today, we were kind of chatting, and he was like, "Oh, I like that head. Where did you get it?" And I said, "Oh, I got it from Casting Cave like forever ago. The first figure swap I ever signed up for, the secret swap I ever signed up for, was Summer Swap over on Foosh, and yeah, it was I made a Namor in his X-Men uniform, and I bought 2 of this head. It's a Quicksilver head, but I used it for a Namor, and it worked really well. I have to fix one of the brows. So, sorry, I didn't show you guys. See the brow on this side? It's got like a pointy spot. I don't like it. I have to fix it. Yeah, sounds good, man. Hit me up. And Marcus, I used knockoff Mafex Spider-Mans for the pieces I needed. So I kind of learned some stuff as I was watching Bill Maru, the toy mechanic. He's like got some pretty crazy ideas and ways to like fix things. So okay, I'm gonna paint the hair all white. I'm not gonna do gray as a base like I would normally do, because I want the hair to be bright white. And usually I find if you do a gray base with your white hair, like a solid gray base, I mean, I do kind of have a gray base. Well, I guess it's skin tone actually, but it's hard to get it really clean looking, and I want the white to pop. So let's do one more coat on this guy, and then we will let it sit, and then we will move on to getting our blues going. So let's ditch these guys here. Super Cal L says, "Do you own the Hasbro Age of Ultron Hulk?" Yeah, I think he's in my fodder bin somewhere. I think he's... Where is he? I have this one, but he's like in pieces because I took his hands and took the head, and he's just in the back of my parts bin here, chilling like a villain. This is my favorite Hasbro Hulk body. It's the it was the Smart Hulk Build-A-Figure. I like it a lot. It's really nice. Moves nicely, poses nicely. Just a nice looking figure. Marcus said, "Heard some good stuff about some bootleg Mafex Spideys. I'm currently planning on something with an SHF Naruto Lightning's collection style articulation and some third-party stuff and Marvel Legends." Interesting. Yeah, the Mafex bootleg Spidey is not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. I've had way worse, but at least he stays together. I bought a Mafex Deadpool, and his shoulders would not stay in. The knockoff, not the real one. It's a whole mess on my desk. I know that story. I keep my workspace tight, though, because I don't have much of it. So, all right, let's put this glove back on, and we will get this black primer done. And then onto our blue, dark blue. We'll get a nice blue hue, and then we'll highlight the muscles individually. Hopefully I don't fuck it up. I'm also going to mix some red so I can... Oh, this glove is officially kaput. Time to get a new glove. There we go. All right. Back to the split. All right. Okay. Close that all the way because I'm probably going to need more of it. All right, let's fucking do it. Marcus. Speaking of Mayfex Spideys, I'm regretting canceling my pre-order for Black Suit Spidey, but I had my eye on other stuff like Harley and Nightwing. I'm not gonna lie to you, I wasn't excited for Black Suit Spidey. I kind of like, I really like the Marvel Legends one. I think it's really good. And I was almost going to cancel mine, and I decided not to in the end. Because I was like, in worst case scenario, if I don't like it, I'm sure I could sell it and get money for it. But then I started seeing everyone posting their pictures of it. Mine shipped. It's on its way. And I was like, that looks pretty fucking good. That subtle blue hue and the... Yeah, it's really nice. So I'm pretty excited to get it. Should be here soon. Tomorrow I get my first Super 7. Well, I guess it's not my first, but it's the first time I've bought direct from Super 7. The Ray Fillet arrives tomorrow. Ninja Turtles. Pretty excited. I also got this today. I already had it, but I got a second one because I wanted one for my desk. And my buddy Draven wants Spinneret, so... Oh no! Quebec Rama says, I missed the Marvel Legends one and the Mayfex one. That sucks, dude. If I find a Black Suit Legends one, I'll pick it up for you if you want. Currently going through the denial stage of grief. I have the Marvel Legends. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. Yeah, 2-pack's sick, eh? I really like it a lot. One thing I can say about my Secret Santa is I'm getting to use that new female body with the double jointed elbows for the first time customizing, and I am just loving it. It's really nice. She hit some great poses. Okay, paint time. Matchu's here. What up, sir? What up? What up? What up? What up? For anybody who didn't see it last week, Matchu Toy was here. We had a nice chat and talked about lots of stuff, and it was awesome. Check it out on the replay if you haven't. Okay, I'm putting my mask on. No talkie. No talkie. Oh. All right. Okay, I'm going to move this down. Nice. Okay, I'm just going to get the inside really quick. All right. Ryan, you're on your personal. There you go. Moose milk. There you go. I'll read comments in a minute. Amen. There we go. Moose milk's here, everybody. Onky Lonky is moose milk. He says needs me some gangrel. Some more gangrel. I love the way you spray. That's very nice of you. I do it for you. You know that. That's it for a second. Marcus E. Into the Matchuverse. Matchuverse of madness. We had a good episode last week. It was a lot of fun. It was really nice to chat with Matthew. We haven't really done that before. I mean, we text. We don't text. We message on Instagram, but we haven't really done that before. So it's cool. It was really cool. I've seen him on Toy Migos and Unboxing Thursdays and all that. But yeah, it's cool. It's pretty nice. It's awesome. Nice to just get to know him a little bit. So Moose Milk says, back from the death, here again. Yes, you were sick. Feeling better, I hope. Right, on Saturday. We have to do it at 9 if that's okay with you, because I have to work at 5 the next morning. So I need this to really be clean, because the next color I'm doing is blue, and I don't want any of that black to seep through. So I'm going to give it a good clean with airbrush cleaner and rubbing alcohol. Make sure it's really good. There you go. Coming out clear. We're good. That's what she said. Moose Milk says, that's fine, bud. We can do it at 5 p.m. if you want. I don't leave my house. Okay, well, maybe not 5 because I have to work that day too. But yeah, I'll, yeah, let's say 9. 9's probably good. So, okay, we are done with the black primer. I'm pretty happy with the coats that I have. So we are going to go back to doing the face again here. Let's solo cam that shit. Marcus, if you're asking about time, as opposed to what time you mean, so if that's what you're asking about, we usually do our podcast Saturdays at 10 p.m. PST, but this time we're going to do it at 9 because I need to get up early. 5 for a 5 a.m. shift, which means I have to get up at 3:45. Saturday nights I usually don't go to bed until 4 or 4:30, so having to get up at 3:45 is a killer. I'm gonna touch up this wonky ass eyebrow that I did on poor Quicksilver here. He's kind of looking a little silly without hair color. But I need to fix that part, just the peak on the one eyebrow. Let's put some ivory in the eye. So the next layer for the eye, instead of doing white, I do like an ivory or like a bone. So I'm going to do that as the next coat. So I basically leave the black outline around the eye, but I will, the inside I'll do like this bone color. If you do white, pure white, it just looks like it looks like he has crazy eyes because they pop like crazy. Whereas with like the off-white, it's not as drastic. You don't really feel it as much. Nice. That's a good one. Whew. I like when I do it right. Sorry, I have to be quiet when I do this. Nice. Nice. This one's a bit too squinty. There we go. There we go. Oh, it's bigger than the other though. So I still have to go a bit closer, or else it's gonna look weird. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be pretty close. There we go. So there's our eyes so far. We got the black. Wow, that really works. That camera works well. So you can see it's still a bit junky around the right eye, but I'll clean that up after. As long as the sizes are pretty much there. Once everything else gets in, you kind of don't notice some of the other bits. So. Oh, right, as opposed to. And then coming out clear. Very funny. I like that. Super Kyle says, how long do you work? So yeah, so this weekend I am doing a grand opening at our newest store. And Saturday I have to work. I'll probably work like 8 to 5 or like 8 to 3 realistically. And then Sunday I work 5 to 1:30. Monday I work 5 to 1:30, and then I'll take Tuesday, Wednesday off. So be good. Yeah, I know. Me too, man. Moose Milk says the podcast could be 5 to 6 hours long. I've watched about 300 hours of stuff. Yeah, since you were sick, you probably were just watching shit nonstop, right? Yeah, I watched quite a bit too. Yeah, we'll try to get through as much as we can. Might have to save Handmaid's Tale for next week. So Marcus says that paintwork looks clean right off the page. Thanks, man. Yeah, I like it. That looks pretty good. I gotta fix that janky ass pointy eyebrow on that peak of an eyebrow there. I'm gonna do that right now before it drives me mad. And I'm just gonna let before I get back to the airbrushing, I just want to let that set because that's my primer. So I want to. Like I was saying to Trevor 1/6 shooter earlier, I don't like to put paint on the primer too quickly. I usually let it sit, but I'm not going to tonight. I'm breaking my own rules tonight. There we go. Cool, that looks pretty good. And I'm going to try to clean up that edge. That's good. Good, yes. There we go. It's looking all right. I can dig it. Let's put this over here. Fucking A. All right. So we're gonna let that. We're gonna let those eyes sit before I do another drop on them. I'm gonna cut in white around the hairline next. This is a great white shark. This is Moro White, and it's by a company called P3. It's I stopped mixing it. I used to thin it out. It was the white I always used, but I can't find P3 in Canada anymore, where it's hard to find it. So I stopped thinning it out because right out of the bottle, it has some of the best coverage I've ever had in white paint. So so now that I can't find it, I'm like, I don't want to waste it. Because like when I do small little details, I don't have to do like a million coats. You do a couple coats and it's good. So, oh, Michael Schmidt has subscribed to me on YouTube. That's nice. If that's somebody here, please say hello so that way I know who you are. Thank you for subscribing. Yay. 201, 301. No, just kidding. I think I'm over 300. I honestly haven't looked in. I don't even know how long. Just because I'm just like, what's the point? I have nothing to really offer right now other than my live streams. I will get back to doing more. I really want to do like proper videos for my collection. I think that would make sense. And it's smaller doses, you know. I think there's a lot of people that probably are like, I don't have time to watch a 3-hour live stream of this guy going through his collection. But maybe if I had them like shorter, you know, maybe by the shelf or by section, like this is my X-Men stuff, this is my Spider-Man stuff, maybe people would be more inclined. Maybe. I will say that the collection stream is this, I think it's the stream that has the most views. So that's pretty cool. I think most of you guys were there for that. Anyone that's here or the people who are chatting anyways. I'm pretty sure Marcus and Quebec Diorama And Anonymous Dude was there for sure. And Jordan from Canada. Okay. So yeah, so the reason I wanted this to be like a good coat is because when I go around the edges, I'm not actually going to paint the hair yet. I like to finish the face before I paint the hair. Just so that way I don't have to keep touching the hair while it's wet, because I don't want to get my fingerprints on it But yeah, pretty happy with this hair that I did. I just wish I would have done it a little higher up. I wish I covered a bit too much of his forehead. But once I noticed it was already dry, and I was like, oh man, kind of don't want to redo it because I kind of like it. So I just didn't redo it. I was that guy. I just said, nope. Oh, nice. Matchu Toy says, I've looked into P3. I mainly use Vallejo. I like Vallejo. Since P3 has been discontinued, or it hasn't been discontinued, I still know of places where you can get it. I find that the selection is always so hit or miss. It's never consistent. I can never rely on being able to get everything I need from one place, which ultimately means I pay shipping like 4 times, and that's not worth it. So I buy a lot of Citadel out of necessity because I just don't have other options. Like if I don't want to pay shipping and stuff, But I have been picking up more Vallejo lately because my options have been limited. And actually, as much as I do enjoy some of the Citadel stuff, I find their black paint is dog shit. I feel like it never has a good coat, especially compared to my P3. So I have actually switched my black paint to Vallejo. I much prefer it. It's so smooth and so clean. I know I said I wasn't painting the hair, but here I am painting the hair. I'm just going around the edges though, for real. There we go. Yeah, I'm trying to fill in my AOA shelf as fast as I can here. So Havoc was the first kind of easy one. Now Quicksilver. And then next I'm going to do Banshee because, again, like I can just get a black base body, do the yellow stripe on the chest, and add the arm string things or whatever the fuck those are. So it should be pretty simple. So I think I'm going to do Banshee next. And then I'm going to do Gambit, which is not as easy, but I still think it'll be fun. So I'm going to keep checking those. What's it called in a minute here? Those comments. Nice, nice. That goes down to there, so I better fill in those sad burns. You want some of this milk? How about you, sad burns? You want some of this milk? Hey! Speaking of this gentleman, Collector Express says, I'm down to my last bottle of Tester's Model Master White, so I might have to see if I can get some of that. Yeah, man, I definitely recommend. My biggest issue with P3 is that their paint range, if you mix your own colors and stuff, P3 is great because it has all your primaries. They have weird names and shit, but like you have what you need. I'm not really great with mixing my paints. That's not a strong suit of mine. So I just have a drawer full of like all these random shades of different colors. But it is that was my only beef with P3s was that their color palette is limited. They don't have as good of a selection as like Citadel or Vallejo or any of those guys. So also Collector Express, he will be a guest next week. So next week I'm going to go back to having another guest. And I was going to save it till the end, but since he's here, it makes sense. So next week, guys, join us at 8 p.m. Actually, we're going to do it an hour earlier just because he's on the East Coast and it's a bit too late. So we're gonna meet up at 8 p.m. next week on Wednesday. Collector Express and we're gonna do some live customizing together, kind of shoot the shit and just work on some stuff, and it should be fun. So I'm really excited to chat with him. He, for anybody who doesn't know, does something very similar to this on Sunday nights. If you aren't already following his work, he does awesome stuff. He's been working on these Ultraverse figures like Prime and those characters. I can't remember all their names, but when I see them, I'm just reminded of those old toys from when I was a kid. So yeah, go check him out. And he'll be on next week, which is great. Moosmoke says, that's okay. Handmaid's Tale has been a delight. Did you watch today's? I haven't watched today's yet. I love Handmaid's Tale. It's great. Super Cal says, do you own any old school Marvel Legends? No, I actually didn't collect Marvel Legends under the banner Marvel Legends. I only collected the old Toy Biz 5-inch figures. So anything, I stopped collecting those. I was watching Marvel Legends from afar, but they never really appealed to me. The giant ball joints on the hips and stuff were just really ugly to me. And yeah, I was always jealous of the selection that they had, but at that point I wasn't collecting, what's it called? I wasn't collecting Legends at that point, so. But I do have some old 5-inch Marvel characters. I have a Civilian Wolverine, I have Morph, and I have the light up Cyclops, I think, the John Byrne style one, not the 90s one, but his batteries don't work because the batteries blew up in it. So Marcus E says, I used to use Tester's model acrylic paints, but didn't they stop making them? I only use Citadel because it's available. I can pick them up at Warhammer Games Workshop next town over. Yes, I believe Model Masters by Testers has been discontinued, I'm pretty sure. I know that I used to use Testers Dull Coat for my clear coat, and it was amazing, and they stopped using that, and I had to find a new solution. I bought everything I could buy in town. At one point, I literally had, like, not exaggerating, like 20 cans. But once they were gone. So it's pretty disappointed. Yeah, there you go. Collector Express says, Tester's Model Master acrylics have indeed been discontinued. Oh, yeah. Marcus says there, I'm going to miss them. They're my first model paints. Quebec Diorama says, I was thinking about it. I think I'll wait for the animated black suit with Carnage. That's a good idea. Yeah, I might end up having to get that one too, unfortunately. Because yeah, I'm going to need that. Let's mix some paint. Speaking of me just saying I don't mix paint, which I shouldn't say mix paint. We're not mixing paint. We are going to thin some paint so I can use it in my airbrush. We're going to start with our base color for Quicksilver. This is the blue I'm going to use. It's a midnight blue. It's called Exile Blue. And then I'm going to highlight with this one, which is Caldor Sky. And for the red that I'm going to do my test on this guy, this is just a test. This isn't for Quicksilver. I am going to use, I think this one might work better. I'm going to use this Evil Suns with a Z, Scarlet. So we're going to mix both of those. Then we'll go back to this face. We'll do one more detail on the face, and then we'll... So for my base body part, because there's a lot that I have to paint, oh, and this is coming out pretty thick too. I give myself a nice little bit in there. I can always mix more if I have to, or it's lighten more if I have to. But I'm gonna get that all out of there. And where is my This is what I use to thin my paints. It's called Liquitex Airbrush Medium. I like it better than water because the paint keeps its viscosity and it doesn't get so watery. I like this to get down to the the thinness of about like a heavy cream, like a 36% milk fat heavy cream. You like that? See, I know. It's the baker in me. Constantly stealing the 36% whip from the dairy department, from Ryan, from Moose Milk. And the way I usually test it is I rub it on the side of the thing and I see how easily it flows down. If it's like it's I think I still need to thin it out a little bit here. Oh, maybe not. That might be good. Okay. Quebec Diorama says, the thing I don't understand is Black Suit, Spidey, and Carnage never face off in the series. Yeah, this would have been better. Marcus E says, at Quebec Diorama, it would have made sense if they used Shocker, Rhino, or even Craven. I know, I would have loved them to do Craven. Craven's on my list of wants. My main wants from the animated series are Vulture, Mysterio, Doc Ock, Chameleon, and Craven, probably. So I also wouldn't mind a Punisher. We're getting Scorpion, so that's good. Scorpion was high up on my list too, so yeah, Shocker would have been dope for sure. The Retro Shocker is pretty close though. It just doesn't have the cell shading, but it's the right look, so they could always like cell shade that. All right. So I loaded the paint into the airbrush, and before we do that, we're gonna do another layer on the face here. Oh yeah, Blade would be cool too. Yeah, for sure. See, the thing is if they just put Carnage out by himself without Black Suit, I probably would just buy Carnage. Because I don't really have a lot of association with symbiote Spider-Man from the anime. I know he had it, but like it just, I don't really think of it in that way, really, right? Didn't really like, yeah, I don't know. Didn't really do anything much for me. So I have to look up what color Quicksilver's eyes are. Blue or green? Are Quicksilver's eyes blue? Nailed it. But before we do blue, we do black. So I'll use my shitty Citadel black paint for that. Oh god, yeah, that's a brutal one. Marcus says some of Hasbro's decisions are kind of weird when it comes to pack-ins, like that 5-pack with Ultimate Black Suit Spider-Man, like super odd. Yeah, totally odd, man. It's so weird. It's such a weird. Yeah, that whole pack is weird. I actually skipped that pack. I don't feel compelled to need any of it, so I'm trying to be more mindful of what I'm buying these days. They're so expensive now, and I just like it's taking all of my power to not go and buy this, but here in Canada, Spider-Man Noir from Into the Spider-Verse is at a it's a Toys R Us exclusive, and he is $89.99 for one figure, and I just cannot justify it. Like, as much as I want it, I cannot justify it, because like I could buy a Sentinel. We know Sentinel's making a Spider-Man Noir. I could buy a Sentinel Spider-Man Noir for like $20 more. It's so not worth it. Okay, I gotta focus for this part. Doing the black part on the eye here. Ooh. One's good, but I have to make it bigger, but ooh, that's not good. Oh, that's a little bit better. Ah, there we go. That looks mostly good. Unfortunately, I can kind of tell that the eyes are kind of, there we go. There we go. Not the worst, not the best, but not the worst. You can see how the eyes are different sizes though, right? It's going to drive me bonkers. But I think I can fix it. I think what I'm seeing is this one is going kind of like up onto the eyelid on the top a bit. So I need to fix that. So before I do the next step, I'm going to fix that because that's going to drive me nuts. It is driving me nuts. I thought I could look past it, but I can't. Can't do that. Yeah, there you go. That would have made sense. Shocker, black suit, Spidey. It's iconic. Yeah, I agree. $89, man. It's because they're classifying it as a 2-pack because it comes with Spider-Ham, but Spider-Ham's a statue, so. Quebec Diorama says Hasbro profit is going down since they up all the prices because most of us buy less. Yeah, man. It's true. I'm buying less, for sure. Like I said, normally I would have bought up that Spider-Man Noir. I'd even buy it at double the price, but I have to draw the line at. I mean, it's not double. It is double the price now. New prices. I mean, old prices. Like, I'd have paid 60 Canadian for it. But I draw the line at that, I think. So, thanks, Manchu Toy. Okay. Let's switch gears. We're an hour 46 into this, so we're going to get some blue on here. Let's focus up. I'm going to fix this. And just want to, sorry, this thing's kind of, there we go. Machi says, I just got off Xbox, wanted some popcorn, and I've been sitting on my couch watching you paint. Now I want to go paint. Yeah, that dragon you made is sick, dude. I love it. He took the Venom wings from that Null and Venom 2-pack and added it to the Golden Dragon or Golden Axe Dragon, and it looks so sick. Looks like they're meant for each other, honestly. Yeah, that's hard. Marcus says, even being selective with what I'm buying can be stressful only because I'm getting into imports. Imports are not cheap. But at least they don't... The way I always look at imports is like, at least you only... Like, I always look at Mayfex, right? And I'm like, at least I'm only getting like 5 a year versus like 5 in a wave. You know what I mean? So... Mikey Boy says, that's exactly how I feel, Matthew Boy. I watch him airbrush, and now I want to bust out my setup and do it, even though it's 12 in the morning. It's funny. Quebec Diorama says, Bane is back. Oh, yes, Bane is back. It's almost 2 a.m. here. That's too late. Okay, here we go. Okay, we're going to start with, we're going to do that booty. So, as I was saying earlier, guys, I'm not trying to coat this. The base color is still going to stay black. I'm just going to do like a nice overspray over everything to give it kind of like a bluish hue, and then I'm going to go in and highlight with a lighter blue. So just so you guys know, I'm not trying to paint the whole figure here. Base color will stay black. We'll do some hue work now. Hue work. There we go. So from a distance, I'm not going in so close.
And I'm doing like a sweeping motion with my airbrush, up and down, up and down. Just gonna get those legs straight again. There we go. Getting there. So I don't know if you guys can see as easily, but put that down and do this guy next. There we go. So let's see if you can see the difference. Blue, no blue. Can you see? I guess you can see a little bit. I'm still going to do another coat of blue, so. Oh, sorry. Maybe you want to see. Nice. Do some more on this. I'm going a little heavier on this. And do a little more on these. Oh. And then we're going to let it dry, and then we'll bend the elbows and all that stuff, move the joints and get in there and do those again. Put the lid on that. Let's turn that off. Let's flip back to this. Marcus, he says, dude, the third-party stuff is what's killing me. I'm so tempted, and I blame 796 Studios for influencing me to get waifu figures. That's great. Did anybody catch 796 on Toy Migos, Chat Migos Assemble this week? It sounds like he might be filling in for Jurassic Jesse while he's away. So that could be pretty fun. He's got great chemistry with the guys, and he's just an all-around funny guy. So I'm all about that. And then they had Figure Fan Nate on this week, which was awesome. I'm a Nate's nerd myself, so it was pretty awesome to see him on there. So Quebec Dynamo says, haha, chief executive. Oh, Hasbro's chief executive is called Chris Cox. Such children we are. Cox. Marcus E says, Matthew is just Bane if he never joined the League of Shadows. What a time to be a variant. I don't get that reference because I don't know anything about DC. I might have to explain. Oh, Matthew Toys out. All right, we're going to head to bed. Have a good night. Thank you, dude. Thanks for stopping by. Rolled steaks. Yes, the rolled steaks. So fucking funny. Oh, my God. I was fucking crying laughing at that. Will they be bone in, you know? That's great. I'm going to do this. Is this good enough that I can... Oh, I don't even have to thin this out. I've thinned this out so many times that I can just go right in, which is great. But I'm going to let... before I do that, I'm going to do more work on Quicksilver because I am going to use more of that blue once I fix these arms and bend them all. We had our first flake for Legendary Summer, so our Secret Santa. Somebody we had to kick out today because they couldn't provide us with work in progress pictures. So unfortunately, we had to let them go. It was unfortunate, but it happens every once in a while. Thankfully, within our group, we have like a huge turnout this year. We have like 50 something people. There was like 5 people that jumped to offer to help like within the first like 5 minutes of posting that we needed somebody to pick up an extra figure this year. So it was really nice to see that everybody came out to help and support the event. So yeah, I'm gonna go in and try to fix this dopey ass thing that's making this eye look huge. So bear with me for a moment. Wow, it's amazing how much of a difference that makes, but even just one stroke of paint. All it takes is just like one little bit. There we go. I'll need to do another coat because the skin tone's not cut. Oh, maybe not. There we go. That looks good. Oh, okay, this is looking pretty good, guys. I don't want to get too excited here, but it is looking good. All right, so now I'm going to do the blue pupil. Gotta bring out your steaks so you can get all the meat juices out. Have you ever watched I Think You Should Leave? It's on Netflix. It's like a sketch comedy show. It's fucking hilarious. It's got what's his name? Tim Robinson, I think his name is. Tim. No, that's not right. Tim Robinson. Craig. I'm thinking Craig Robinson. It's not him. I Think You Should Leave. Who's the guy's name? I Think You Should Leave. Yeah, Tim Robinson. That's right. Yeah. He has an episode where he talks about how he used to be such a huge piece of shit, or it's like a skit. He's like, "Oh, I used to be the biggest piece of shit. We'd always order sloppy steaks." And I guess it's like when you take a steak and you pour a whole glass of water on it, and then you try to cut it, and they slide all over the plate and get everywhere. It's really funny. That whenever they start doing the steak bit, I always takes me to that. Okay, patience and quiet. Here we go. Nice. One's good. Let's hope the second one turns out as good. I'm gonna have to clean that brush. Unfortunately, the heat being what it is in here, my paint dries on the brush pretty quickly. Nice. I think I got a little bit too close to the edge on this one. Nice. It's not perfect though. I have to fix it, but hell yeah. I like this blue. It's nice and bright. Nike Boy says looks great. Thanks, man. Marcus E. Tim Robinson. Just saw that binging with Bobish made a sloppy steak video. I also don't know what that is, but sloppy steaks, so good. Interesting. Mikey Boy J says, I'm thinking about selling some of my collection and buying more 1/6 scale horror figures. Who makes 1/6 scale horror figures? Is that Hot Toys or like Sideshow? I think they're the same company. Right? Okay, we're gonna bend those. We're gonna turn that. We're gonna open these bows up. So we're gonna flip all of these now. Let's do it. Sloppy steaks. Tim Robinson. If you haven't watched I Think You Should Leave, I strongly recommend that you do. It's very, I actually shouldn't say that. It's probably not for everybody. It's a pretty specific style of comedy. But it makes me laugh my ass off. I think it's so fucking funny. Has that ever happened to you? No, you can't be part of the super squad or whatever everybody says. All right. Good stuff. Okay, this is all ready to rock. Let's do this. Oh, here we go. Binging with Babish. Used to do videos on food from movies, shows, games. Now they do a whole bunch of stuff, but they still do that too. Oh, okay, cool. So they did sloppy steaks. Interesting. Was it as sloppy as the name is, or was it not really? Nike Boy says Sideshow does it, and so does Trick or Treat Studios, but I think I'm going to go with custom made figures. It's more money, but the quality's a lot better. Interesting. That's pretty cool. Is there a lot of customizers who do that in that scale? I remember I did I started a custom MCU 12-inch Marvel Legends style Steve Rogers Captain America from the MCU, and I never finished it because I struggled to work in that scale. It's very difficult to work in that scale, I find. Let's go back to the airbrush booth, shall we? So we're over the 2-hour mark, but I would like to at least get some of the highlighting blue on so you guys can see what I'm doing. Marcus C says it looked sloppy. I haven't seen that video in a while. Tim Robinson, I think you should leave. Watch it. It's funny. All right. Bane mask is back on. It's time to airbrush. So I'm mostly just doing the points, the spots that I missed before. Oh shit, that's way too much. See how much I did? So I better max it on this side though. Ooh. Oh, too much again. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but that's all I need, but that's for sure. I am gonna keep this. I'm gonna keep this extra blue handy just in case. Because what I will ultimately do is, I would normally just pour it back into the pot, but what I normally would do is I would just pour it back. But because I want to make sure that I get this next part right, I'd like to have it on hand so I can soften anything that I go too heavy on with the brighter blue. So we'll thin out the brighter blue next. So that part's done, which is easy and peasy. Back over here. Where's that cup? So I don't have to go so much with this one, I don't think. So that's probably more than enough. Let's get that airbrush medium here. Mix. And that's perfect. So you can see how it drip. Get a nice drip. Perfect. All right. We're good. All right. So we can, because I didn't go too crazy on this, we can apply this pretty quickly here. We'll do one thing on the eyes here, and then we'll switch over. Let me see how this looks. I would like to get, let's see, hopefully I don't regret this. Just for the record, usually when you say, I hope I don't regret this, it usually means that you're going to regret what you're doing. So heads up, I'm going to do something stupid in a minute. Got my little marker, and so what I did was I accidentally eliminated the outline on one side of the eye. There we go, and I didn't fuck it up. All right. I just used a marker just to lightly touch it up. I have to warn anybody who uses markers on stuff, Sharpies, any types of markers, Gundams. It's very much like dye, as I was saying earlier in the evening. It will eventually bleed through your paint. So be mindful. Be mindful. Okay, last part of the second last part of the eye is the pupil. Is that right? I don't know if that's what it's called. I think that's what it's called. Oh, that was way too much. I literally just need a drop. And for this, I usually use a toothpick. Collector Express recommended I use a styrene rod, which I just don't have handy. But next time I dig out my custom stuff, I have like a tote that's like not in storage, but it's in a closet tucked away that has a bunch of like stuff that I don't use all the time. So I'm going to dig that out next. Okay, I have to focus. Not perfect. Okay, not horrible. Not my best, but not horrible. And cool. I don't know if you guys can see that close of a detail to that, but to be honest, this black is a bit too much. I'm gonna have to probably fix that one, I think, unfortunately. And this one is, I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know how it's looking either, really. I might redo both those eyes. We'll see. Let's paint some blue, shall we? Switch back over to that airbrush. Get my glove on. Get my Bane mask on. Oh, is this still the navy blue? It is. Let's get rid of that first. There you go. I'm going to keep that tucked aside, as I mentioned. Just makes life a bit easier. And just using some water to try to get as much of most of this out. I don't really care too much if this gets perfectly clean, because the next color I'm putting through is just blue again, so not the end of the world. So they say, you see how my stream here is like strong for a second and then fades? That's something's happening there. It's pretty important for this next part with the shading that I have a consistent stream. One more. Marcus E says, toothpicks and needles are so handy for painting small details. I agree. Very helpful. Okay, so I got my blue. I'm gonna pop that in. Sit there. And let's just do a little trial run and see how this looks on this. I know I didn't do any glue on this, but I mean, it's going to work at least. See, this is where it gets tricky. This is where you actually need to know it's not just like aimless shooting. You actually have to make sure that it makes sense. All right. I'm just going to give her and hope for the best. Wish me luck. I think I'm going to just start by quickly just doing a little bit. Come on. then I'm going to fold that back. Oh. I'm having a hard time controlling my screen. The other thing I have to remember too is I will also be putting what's it called? White lightning bolts down the arms too, right? So, okay, guys. So here's the difference. Let's show you under the good camera. With the blue, I like. Without it, see the difference? Pretty noticeable, right? Still keeping a lot of that shading into some of the ridges. I did go a little heavy in a few spots, heavier than I would have liked to have, to be honest. But it's not something I'm super great at yet. So, and because this is kind of a new thing to me, yeah, it works. It looks good. I'm gonna add a bit more on the inside here. I'm gonna embrace the bright. There we go. Okay, one done. Still will go through and do more of that, but let me just do that, do that. Do that. Okay. Cool, that looks pretty good. I just want to make sure these match. And this one's a bit brighter, so I'm going to hit a couple of spots here a bit harder. Cool. That looks mostly good, I think. I will go back and do more, but I think to start, that's good. Okay, I'm going to hit all of the spots that I need to bend first. So this one's a bit different because oh, sorry, you guys can't even see what I'm doing. I can't imagine that's all that fun. Just staring at this gross booth. That's way too much. I'm going to try to wipe what I can off there, but I'm going to have to go back and paint more of that. That's disappointing. Move this over. Get this into the back here. Oh dear, I did it again. But we'll see how it looks. Let's just let it dry and we'll see what happens. Maybe it'll be okay. The front one's pretty bright though, so. And I'll fix those. Fix that. Straighten these out. And then I'm going to compare them with the whites. Yeah, that just made me cry. Thank you, Boy Jay says. Yeah, dude, me too. I see a lot of people who do this style and it looks really good. Also, you may notice I'm not wearing my Bane mask. It's just because these are such controlled short amounts that there's not really a ton of extra paint floating around, so I feel a little bit better about this one. Ooh. Let's do this. The thing is I guess I shouldn't be that upset about it because his color is blue more than it is black. I'm just trying to be more selective about my bright spots. Okay, so now I need to see how this compares to the arms. Because I need these to make sure they look like they're coming at the same body. And I could go lighter, some lighter highlights on this. On both of these, I think. So, back over here. And like I said, the good thing is to draw off some of the blue, I'll be using the white for the lightning bolts, right? Plus the white, I didn't do any shading on the white. I left it just plain white because I wanted it to really pop, because I knew I would be relying pretty heavily on different shades of blue for the costume. So it's just pure white. So it's going to definitely pop like crazy. Like, look at how this is going to look together. Like, it's going to pop. All right. Let's just leave that alone for a minute here. And we'll flip back over to here. And since we have that blue out, we're going to fix those eyes. I'm going to actually redo the eyes. I'm not happy enough with them. So, and it's 2.5 hours in. So I'm going to call it quits pretty quick here. I'll probably do the eyes and then do one more pass with the light blue airbrush, and then I'll stop. So, but I'm pretty happy with the base I have for the blue right now. It's pretty much where I want it to be. So, ooh, I should actually take these gloves off because I don't want to get any blue on the skin tone. That would be a bad time. Bad time. Nice, that's a good one. You guys have to understand that. Hang on, let me get this. For me to be able to get eyes in like 2 tries is like insanely amazing. It used to take me like 50. I used to actually have to stop doing eyes at a certain point because there was so much paint built up that it looked textured. So I'd get to a point where like I was kind of just hooped. Like I kind of just had to deal with whatever I had because it was starting to look gross. You don't want that. Do I like this? I think I like this. I think that looks pretty fucking cool, actually. I think my butterflies could be a bit bluer, which I think I'll fix. And I think up there could also be a bit bluer. Okay, let's finish this off here. There we go. Calling that pretty good. There we go. Okay, I think I'm happy now. Let's flip back over to this view because it's just a better camera. So this is the first time I've done a stream where my camera, overhead camera, my Sony, didn't die on me. It always fucking heats out and goes on me. There's a couple spots I could probably lighten up a little bit, but I think for the most part I like it. Let me see. Cool. I like how this looks. This looks good. And that'll look good with the skin tone. And the white. It's gonna pop. It's gonna pop. I'm gonna do some more on this arm and then we're gonna call it quits. Take a break and then take a break and then I'll come back in and finish up the, what's it called? The face, the eyes. painting my fingers blue at the moment because I'm not wearing my gloves. But... Cool. That's good. That's good. All right. Let's fucking wrap this up. Let's do this. There we go. Blue. You can't really see. Let's turn this off. Thanks, guys. Thanks for those of you who stuck around. I will post pictures of this in the next couple days, probably. I might wait until he's back assembled, but we'll see. Let's see. What do I have to say? So next week we have Collector Express coming on the live stream. We're going to start an hour earlier next week at 8 p.m. Pacific time. So come on by and join us for that. Should be a good one. Again, if you haven't hit the like button already, please do that. It would really help. And yeah, I don't know. I'm fucking bad at this part. I wish I was like an Ernie. You know, Ernie's like the hype man. Like I just need Ernie to I need to pay him to do like a hype piece for me, and I'll just pre-record it and play it. That'd be good. That guy's fucking the king when it comes to getting everyone moving and getting everyone going. You can tell he was a DJ. But again, guys, thank you to everybody who was here. Thanks to all my regulars and to all the new people who stumbled into here and decided to stick around for a little bit. I appreciate that you stopped by. It means a lot. And yeah, I don't know. Oh, this coming Monday. So for anybody who's been following me on Instagram for the last 8 weeks or whatever, I've been posting pictures every Monday on my webpage of stuff that I've finished this year that I just haven't gotten around to properly showing off my fancy pictures of. And the one I'm doing on Monday is Out of Sequence. I actually just finished it. It is a secret swap figure for one of my friends. I'm meeting him tomorrow to give him the figure so I can finally start sharing it. So I don't know if I'm going to end up spending the weekend posting WIP pictures, like work in progress pictures, and then Monday I'll show the final finished product as a reveal when it comes out on my webpage. So look out for that. I can't say what it is yet, but you guys haven't seen any of it. No WIP pictures. No one really knows what it is. Actually, I shouldn't say that. Well, no one knows for sure what it is. So I'll be able to showcase that this weekend. So I'm pretty excited to do that. Yeah, that's it. Thanks, y'all. Hope you all have a great week. And we have to come up with a cool saying as I exit. Say something I don't know. I'm not even going to try because I suck. Okay, bye.